Okay, it's August 8th, so I'm not on time as usual. I'm starting late, but I am going to, I think, start my little vlog channel with the Every Bit Counts challenge from Three Rivers Homestead. If you don't follow her, you should. Her name is Jessica, and I followed her for quite a few years now, and I enjoy her content, and it's helped me. I think it's given me a lot of confidence, being a full-time working mom that also has interest in homesteading and gardening. And it's given me, she's a real person doing real videos that show that you can't do it all, and it's okay if you can't do it all. And I think that has given me a lot of confidence and solace, where maybe I felt insecurities before. And it has been part of leading me to this journey that I'm about to show you. So we're gonna do my very first garden tour, and I think I'm just gonna show you everything. Please ignore the weeds. I am a mom to one baby that I've had, and then I also have two wonderful stepkids. So I also work full-time, and my husband works full-time, and we have a lot to take care of and a lot of grass to cut and animals, and it just never stops. So I find myself not having that much time to weed my garden, and then when I do, I find myself just coming out and there's tons more weeds that I haven't picked. So anyway, I just picked Monday? I just picked weeds a day or two ago around these tomatoes, and I didn't completely clear the garden of them, so keep that in mind, but I really tried to keep them away from the tomato plants themselves. So I'm just gonna get started. This is the start of my tomato patch. It all looks very weedy, I know. We planted, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's what I thought. We planted 12 per row, and we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. So whatever 12 times 8 is, like 96 or something. Math isn't my strong suit. So I have that many tomatoes, and they are just now starting to turn red. I believe these are mostly Rutgers, and these were all seed starters, except I think maybe some Romas, or no, I think these are actually all seed starters this year that we started ourselves. So but these all on this side, I'm pretty sure we only planted Rutgers, and we've always had really good luck with them, but this year they're kind of coming in weird. Like some of the plants we have really great outcomes, like this guy looks pretty good, but a lot of them have some splitting and like some weird blemishes. So I'm not sure what that's about, because last year we had like pretty perfect tomatoes. This one died, and I'm pretty sure it's because I put the stake in a little too close to the tomato. This is my first year actually doing the stakes myself. My husband usually does them for me. I'm gonna zoom you guys out. But this one looks like it has pretty okay guys, but normally they come in like a full round tomato, like kind of like this one, where it's just pretty rounded. But this year we have some coming in almost looking like Romas. So, oh, hi Roscoe, you scared me. But, so this is my tomatoes. If we go through here, we've got more tomatoes, more tomatoes. We have some sparse spots where some have passed away onto a different life. But then right about here is where it starts with my Romas, and then I have about 3 rows of those, give or take. And then coming down here are my peppers. Now, my peppers really need a lot of attention. Okay, this isn't like a stellar garden video. I'm not the best gardener in the world. This is my 3rd year, and I have been quite negligent with my peppers, but also we got that critter right there, and he has taken a lot of interest, or had taken a lot of interest in the garden when we first got him, and he ended up running through the garden and ruining a few of my pepper plants, which I was not a happy dog mom at that moment. So I may have to be purchasing some jalapenos this year for my salsas and such. But I might have to be purchasing peppers anyway, because I don't know what's eating them. Something has to be eating them because they have 0 like buds. There's one. This is a garden salsa pepper. I pulled away some of the weeds a couple days ago, but I don't know, like something is eating them around here. So I think I'm going to get some stuff to, I don't know, maybe spray. I have First Saturday Lime. If anybody knows anything about that, let me know if I can put that directly on my plants, because I'm kind of scared too. I need to go in and actually read the back of the package, like, and do some actual looking into it. But I have some half alive peppers. The other day, I think it was this one that had, yeah. Oh, okay, it just fell off. Yeah, they're dying. Something's going on. I gotta figure that out. So those are my sad peppers that I might have to be purchasing. Every year, I feel like there's one thing that gets let go, and this year, I think it's peppers. But also, I saw, once again, to mention Three Rivers Homestead, I saw her talking about planting in her zone, and she was talking about how she's noticed that it's hard for her to plant pepper plants in this clay-like soil, which is what we have. There is no such thing as really sandy soil around here. It's all pretty clay-like unless you have raised beds, which we do have one, but I typically use that for my lettuce and my herbs and such. So I may, she said she had better luck doing peppers in pots, so that's probably going to be what I do next year. But a lot of these little cucumber beetle pests. This is my okra that this is my first year growing okra. I'm not doing the best job of noticing when it's absolutely large like that and unusable. Like, I'm pretty sure I was just out here yesterday and thought that I didn't see any. And I was watching Roots and Refuge, and she was talking about how okra can go from, what did she say? From perfect to unusable in like less than 24 hours, which I think is what just happened to me. But I had an overgrown one a couple of days ago, and I actually used it for like in a stir fry, and it wasn't terrible. So I probably will be doing that, but I also probably should pick like these smaller ones. I don't know. Let me see if I have any other ones over here. Oh my gosh, I have, oh my god. Give me a minute. I need to pick these unruly okras. Like, did I not see these or what? Oh my gosh. And I'm getting ate up by bugs. Okay. Also, if I'm doing this wrong, don't make fun of me. Just tell me. Newbie gardener. This one seems to have quite a few flower situations. I think I just took a picture of a flower on it the other day. Also, I think I didn't realize how long the okras take to get to like maturity, to where they have quite a few fruit on them. So this one has like a second plant. Going further, we have blue lake bush beans, and these are coming in quite nicely. I don't know if we can find one here. I saw the other day some cute little starter beans, and I don't know if I'm going to really take the time to show you any, but I would say, Michael said within the next 2 weeks or so we'll have beans. Now, I don't want to walk over those beans because I just don't have that leg span. But then we have 4 rows of corn. We only did 4 because we are only a family of 4 that will be eating the corn. I don't think my son really has enjoyed it most of the times that he's eaten it. And I picked some of this that I will be showing you guys when I get inside. There's another one that I just saw. Oh my gosh, come on. This one-handed picking thing is not my strong suit. Then we have the even worse weed-wise. Cucumber Hill cucumber hills. This is honestly a disgrace. I should have done this video when everything first started coming up, because what happened is we were scheduled to go on a little vacation and we got stressed, so we put all this stuff in and tilled the garden up as quickly as we could, and it really needed to be tilled 3 or 4 more times. So we rushed it, and we shouldn't have, but the Lord knows our human errors, and even though we rushed it, he still is providing as he does, thank God. So even though my cucumbers got blight and quite a few of them got stem borers, I still have had quite the yield of cucumbers. I have some sitting in ice water in the house right now, and then I also have a fresh bunch that I picked earlier today, but I do remember that I wasn't able to really look thoroughly in this plant because it looks like it does. I mean, come on, in all this grass, I'm disappointed, but my focuses were elsewhere. So I tried my best in the early season, and I tried to keep up with these weeds, but it just wasn't doing great. Now we have a situation here where we have like a cucumber lope that I think has, I need to look it up. I don't even know if that's a thing, but I think it has cross-pollinated my cucumbers and my cantaloupes, and we have this going on, which, I don't know, maybe it just looks like a normal cantaloupe, but that smaller one to me looked like a cucumber lope, which I have never seen before, keep in mind. Then I have some more cucumbers over here. Sad cucumbers. Okay, and then we work our way into the watermelon patch, which, truthfully, it's just scary to even think about stepping in it. Oh my gosh, these are cucumbers. Like, seriously, it's amazing the things that will grow even though you have minimal effort to put in it, which is what inspired me to actually even start this little video situation, because I was watching Three Rivers Homestead, as I've said like a bunch of times in this video, get out of the garden, and she made mention that even if you think your garden is hopeless and you haven't put that much energy into it like you should have, and it is eaten up with weeds and it feels just hopeless, it is not a hopeless situation, because things will still grow where you plant them, which is just amazing, to be honest. So that's all I'm gonna bore you with that cucumber hunt. And okay, so continuing on, sorry if the camera's shaky, I might have to edit some of that out because I'm sure it is quite shaky, and I'm like searching for cucumbers. Okay, moving on, we have the watermelon patch, which is quite treacherous to step in. We have watermelons, and then we have cantaloupes up this away. And this is the only thing I don't love, is that they end up going in my yard every year. But this cantaloupe, I think, is the one that has, yep, these cantaloupe starters. So maybe that other cantaloupe is a normal cantaloupe. I don't know. But these I was thinking of definitely putting some First Saturday Lime on them, because I just really want cantaloupes this year. And it's like, we haven't really had the best luck with cantaloupes. We had maybe 1 or 2 last year, I think. We had a great watermelon patch last year, but cantaloupes are always hit or miss. So another cantaloupe, and then moving down further, we actually have zucchini in here. I know it's hard to tell, but hopefully this video provides hope to people that just can't do it all. Like, it's really hard to keep up with some of this stuff, especially when you have a full-time job and a full-time life that isn't gardening 24/7. I'm really happy for the people that can do that, but I'm not one of them. So this plant, I think I'm gonna pull these out. They got eaten up by stem borers. And I think it was mostly a product of neglect and from these weeds, most likely. So if I can just pull it out and make sure I'm not missing anything, I'm gonna probably do that to quite a few of them. I think I got my last zucchinis. I think it was over the weekend. I do think it's funny that zucchinis sound like they're making wind chime noises when the stems are hollow and they've gotten eaten by stem borers. It's sad, but they sound kind of pretty. This one has little mini zucchinis on it, but I don't think that they will live. We have one more to check. This one actually looks like it's doing somewhat okay. Found a big giant zucchini on this one the other day, but it's not doing as well as I think it is. I don't know. I don't want to break any of the stems. Is that a zucchini? Oh my gosh, it's so hard to tell. Anyway, that's my pretty sad zucchini patch. There's one in here. I'm just gonna pick it because it'll probably die. I think all these zucchini plants are just gonna probably be pulled out. Okay. Sorry guys if this is hard to watch. I'm really a super newbie and not the best with cameras, but I think that Michael might end up taking the weed whacker in here and just cutting down the things that no longer have anything planted in them. Now, this plant is most definitely rotten. And I think stem borers got it. But I don't know if this cantaloupe is bad. I don't have a ton of experience with cantaloupe. As I said, we haven't had much luck with them, unfortunately. So, but anyway, that's my garden. And now I'll take you over to the raised bed. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys. This is my pumpkin. I've never grown pumpkins. I need to get in there and get those weeds. I'm not gonna do it tonight, maybe tomorrow. But hopefully we have some cute pumpkins for the fall. Okay, and we've made it over to my raised bed, all the way over here by the house. Okay, so right in this front section here, we have cilantro that has been very slow to grow. My husband said it's likely because it didn't have enough water in the beginning when it germinated, so it took forever to come up. I don't know, but I'm just hoping that it shoots up in time for my salsa. And then I have my basil here. The plants that are flowering right now were actually bought at our local Rural King, and I bought them because none of my basil was coming up and I was going to have to replant it, and I was afraid it wouldn't come up as soon as I would need it. Then I ended up planting more seeds around it, and a bunch of my regular Genovese basil came up, and so I have all that. This year I have parsley, which I've never grown before, so I'll be excited to use that for my pasta sauces and stuff. I think I'm gonna have to dry some of it because it might just be the sun, but I think the leaves look kind of discolored on the long ones. And then I have my huge dill patch with a random basil. My dill is so exciting. This is the first time I've ever grown dill before, and I used it in my salads, and I'm gonna use it with pickling this year. And then I just sowed seeds in here, which actually need to finish covering, but I have carrots and parsnips and radishes. I don't know, I'll have to insert a picture or something of the seeds that I got to plant. And then over there are beets this is where I pulled out all of the lettuce that was left over from lettuce that we really didn't like this year. I planted like an arugula, like a fancy mix, and we did not like it. So I pulled it all out after we used some of it. Like not even the rabbits will eat it. So this is just my regular, I forget what it's called, but that's just my regular lettuce that we love. So I am going to be planting probably some more of that over here. Or wait, no, I'm wrong. Right here, I actually already planted some scallions. So I won't be planting it right there, but I'll probably clear out some of this patch that isn't being used and plant more lettuce for a fall harvest, because this lettuce comes up pretty quickly, and I was harvesting it like all the way in November and December last year. So it's pretty hardy to the winter. And then this is my radishes that I've grown this year that I had never grown before. And then over here we have my asparagus bed. So this is the first time having asparagus as well. All of the small shoots on the outside are from like a package of roots that I had bought, and then everything on the inside is wild asparagus that we have found like on the side of the road, and we literally are those people that stop and dig it up. So we live in a pretty rural area and there aren't too many witnesses, so we straight up did that. And hopefully next year I can get a pretty good yield from these asparagus plants, and maybe can or freeze some of it, or it might be so good that we just eat it all. So that is my garden tour. Okay, don't mind my appearance. I have been cleaning and just doing odds and ends and working in the garden and stuff since I got home, and I just wanted to show you guys the downside of prepping and having so much food for long-term storage. These are things that I should have canned. These are things that I froze before I got really into canning, and this will all be chicken food. As I got interrupted by my husband, but this is all of the stuff from 2020 in the freezer that we had, that we vacuum sealed, and it has now been 2 years. And the only things that I have survived, or that have survived, that I've tried to salvage, are green beans and some chopped up peppers and shredded zucchini. And the downside is that we lost so much stuff just from neglect. Like basically we were not aware that we had all of this chopped up frozen goodness freezer, and we put chicken, processed chicken, over top of it in the freezer. And I think it was just an error on like the parents' part, because a lot of times we have the kids help us, or a lot of times my husband will just put stuff somewhere, or sometimes I tell them to put stuff somewhere and forget. So I think it was just from forgetfulness and getting caught up with everything else. But I was cleaning out the freezer in preparation for this preserving season, and unfortunately I found all of that at the bottom of the freezer. So I am now bringing it inside to put in the inside freezer, because it needs to be used in the next like 3 months. Like I would say that's probably even pushing it. So we're gonna use all of this up. This is all of the food from 2020 that is not necessarily considered complete waste, because it'll be going to our chickens, but it is unfortunate, and it's not something that we're really going to be using to feed our family, besides the fact that it's going back into egg production. But yeah, so that's the downside, I would say, of prepping and preserving and growing all of this food. Yeah, I'm just so bummed about the fact that I'm losing all these green beans. Okay, so Michael and I got together in 2018, and so towards the end of 2018, so this would have been our coming up on our 2-year anniversary, and this would have been also, I think, the first garden that we did together. And I just don't think that I was aware of all of the things that you can do with growing your own food, and I don't want to say that I was ungrateful, because I wasn't, but I think more than anything I was just naive and unsure of gardening in the first place and what I was going to do with all of, my harvest. And so last year was kind of a whirlwind because we had a baby. And so it was really hard to keep up with the garden and everything with having a little one. But we managed, and I managed to put away the most pickles I've ever put away, which is probably the number one thing that we use, pickles and relish. And then I also canned a ton of green beans last year. I didn't freeze any of them. I canned them all. And I would say that worked out better for us, and we were probably more intent on using them. But it's also because I thought I had used every one of the frozen batches that I had. So I definitely do still want to freeze some this year because I do enjoy cooking them in the crock pot and such when they're frozen, because I think that they keep their firmer texture, and so you can cook them down for a little bit longer, which we work 8-hour days and we live an hour from our jobs, so that's 10-hour days. So if I need to start something in the crock pot in the morning, it needs to cook for at least 10 hours on low before I get home. So I love frozen green beans for that purpose. But yeah, it's such a bummer. And I think I was just really, I don't cook that often with peppers. I probably shouldn't have chopped them like this, or if I did, I really should have probably been more intent on getting recipes for that use peppers. So that is the goal this year. Last year the goal was to just preserve more of our stuff. This year my goal is to not waste as much. I don't want to waste as much of my produce that I grow. I don't want to see any of my plants dying out before I get the most harvest that I can get. And I want to try and harvest my seeds as well, so that we're just using everything that we can from these plants. Everything that these plants are giving us, we're going to try and take. I don't know how successful I'll be, because this is my 3rd year gardening and my 1st year really trying to be diligent and intentional with my gardening. So we'll see. We'll see how far we get this year. But I'm going to sit here and let this defrost, and I'm going to turn this freezer off. This is our freezer that we were cleaning. Don't mind, it's kind of dirty, but it has gotten chunked up with ice to the point where it's not closing well and it needs to defrost. This is some older chicken that we are going to give to our dogs in their dry food, which helps us save on cost a lot. So I'm going to let that defrost inside of the cooler that's defrosting, and then I'm going to make them work. So I'm going to let that defrost inside of the freezer that's defrosting, and it just let me know that it is off now. So yeah, that's the plan with all of that. Okay, this is today's harvest. We have corn, and I might have picked some of it a little too soon, which I will be really bummed about, but this is my first time picking corn. So overgrown okra, undergrown cantaloupe, because my plant was dying. A couple of tomatoes that I want to ripen in here, and a couple of green tomatoes that I'm going to make fried green tomatoes, and they also just fell off of the plants. So I've collected my green tomatoes, and they're over here. And then some zucchini and cucumbers from my overgrown, weed-infested cucumber plants. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with all that, but I have to go shower first, because I don't know about you guys, but I cannot be preserving and doing stuff in my kitchen when I'm all sweaty and gross. So I'm gonna go do that. Oh yeah, and I was gonna show you, these are the seeds that I planted in my raised bed. Touchon carrots, which are right here, This I still have to plant. And the reason I bought broccoli is because I have some broccoli, but I don't think it's gonna work because it's 2 years old and it got wet. So Detroit dark red beets. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. I don't really know if I like beets. I just want to see if I can grow them. Parsnips, heirloom parsnips. Radish, white icicles. And then I'm gonna put this in a container tomorrow and have some kale because I've been craving kale. And then I did bunching onions, which I think are actually going to take longer to harvest than I think they are, which is really kind of a bummer, but whatever. Hopefully I can do something with them. Let me know if you have any ideas on how to preserve these or if I can at all. And that's it. That'll be my fall crop. Broccoli, kale. I think I have some broccoli and cauliflower seeds in my seed bucket as well. And yeah, so that's that.